All right, here we are. State the precision uncertainty of the following devices. So this is the fail-safe method works every time when you have a ruler. You look at the two numbers and you count how many are in between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 gaps, right? You counted 10 steps to get from one to the other. So you could say it's 1/10 of a centimeter, which is 0.1 of a centimeter. Like if you go 1 divided by 10, you get this. But you could also just say it's a millimeter, like every mark represents a millimeter. If you recognize it, then either one of these will be okay, right? Half of the 1 millimeter is 0.5 millimeters. Half of the other, right? If you chose to write it like this, then this is your uncertainty. So just be consistent and you'll be okay. Right? This one we have inches, right? This is so you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We counted 16 steps to get to the other one. So the precision is 1/16 of an inch. If you turn that into a decimal, this is what you get. Right? It's fine either way. Half of 1/16 is 1/32. Right? You multiply the denominator. If you took this and split that in half, you get that. Either way is fine. Okay. Next, I will do this one here. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the precision is 1/8. It doesn't say, but it's an inch, right? 1/8 of an inch. The uncertainty is 1/16 of an inch. And so again, if you turn this into a decimal, you get 0.125 of an inch, which if you split that in half, you get this. Both are okay. Both ways are okay. Then you have this beaker. And so you just kind of figure out, okay, this is probably going up by 50. So you just try 150, 200, 250, 300. So my precision here is 50 milliliters. And the uncertainty is just half of that. Okay, so 1 mark for that as well. Then you have the thermometer here. So just look at like how many, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? You're going up by 10. So your precision is 10 degrees Celsius. No, sorry, Fahrenheit. It says Fahrenheit up there. 10 degrees Fahrenheit, so therefore 5 degrees Fahrenheit is the uncertainty. So if you mess this one up, if you got the precision wrong, take off half a mark. I would still give you half for splitting it in half. Okay. I will give you like if you have something that isn't quite easy to figure out, this is what you do, folks. Take any two numbers. So let's say you go 100 minus 50, and then you divide it by how many steps you take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it'll be 50 divided by 5, which is 10. So then you know your precision is 10. So that's one way of doing it. Okay, so 5 marks for this page. Back side now. Define tolerance using your own words, or you can use the definition, right? It's the range of acceptable measurements. That's one way of looking at it, right? It's the range, like how much can we be off by between the highest and the lowest permissible. You can say that variation allowed for item to still be acceptable. Okay, So what's the variation allowed? So tolerance is the range in a sense, right? So if you have your min and your max, the difference in here is what we used to call range, but it's now also called the tolerance. Okay. And so if you want a specific example where you talked about prescription drugs or medication, if it's too low, it's not going to do its job. If it's too high, you can risk overdosing. If you look at electricity, if it's too low, the thing isn't going to work. If it's too high, you're going to fry it, right? Window, if the window's made too big, it's not going to fit. If it's too small, it's going to fall out, right? Like something like that. So 2 marks if your definition kind of has that in place, right? Something that talks about the fact. Okay, in each case, state the nominal, minimum, and maximum values. I will just give you the key for this one because it's going to take too long if I write it down. Okay, so let's focus on the first thing. The nominal for all of them should be that front number. Okay, so I just copy down the big number in the front. That is my nominal. Okay. And then the max and min, that's where you need to just look at what's here, right? Right? To get the max, I would have to add these two. And to get the min, I subtract, right, minus 0, which is really not doing anything. So it happens to be that the nominal and the min is the same. Okay. Next, the max, right? You add to get the max and you subtract this to get your min. Same here, right? You would add 0.25 to this to get your max, and you would subtract 2.5 from it to get your minimum. And I wish I would have added a column with tolerance. I didn't do that. But to get the tolerance, you would just subtract these two, right? To get your tolerance there. Here, this is kind of like the oddball, right? Where you don't have just a 0. It's actually taking away a little bit. So you got to take this minus that, right? You subtract to get your min, and you add to get your max. So basically, I would say if you have one mistake per row, take off half a mark right away. Okay, even one mistake per row, you take off half a mark. If you got them all right, then it's 1, right? And the final, so 5 marks for question 3. Okay, and then the final here, again, I'm given this format here, and from it, I should be able to collect my information here, right? You get your max and min, right? Sorry, in this case, I went min max. It's not a big deal. But to get my min, I just subtract these two. To get my max, I add them, right? To get the tolerance, I subtract them. Why did I not get my tolerance here? That's important, an important point. Why wasn't this my tolerance? Because it doesn't have the 1/2 tolerance, right? It doesn't have the 1/2 in front of it. So this is not the tolerance. You have to find your max and your min, subtract those, and then you get your tolerance there, right? Because the tolerance is the difference between those two anyways, right? So it should jive. If it doesn't jive, something is off. My nominal, how did I get the nominal? It's right from the front. And so once I have these 4 here, I can branch off and just read it and state my answer in those. In this case, I gave you the format, so you didn't even need your study sheet on that one. So I would give you 1 mark for each correct entry. I don't give you any marks for this, but if you make a mistake here and you're consistent with the work, you would still get 2 out of 3 if you're consistent. So it does save you, it does give you marks if you have that showing up, okay? So the backside is out of 10. The front is 5, right? So it's 15 for both sides. So add that up. I will come and get it. Before you go, I mean Friday's video, we did have a small crowd here, okay? I had a whole 5 of you showed up, so way to go those that showed up. I had a lot of fun with you. There was a worksheet in the booklet, past page 11. If this last thing that we did throws you off, you need to go review it, okay? And I posted the key to it on Friday as well. So watch Friday's video and do the worksheet if you want to be prepared for it, because Wednesday is already test, okay?